Experiment number 11, which is water testing, the water testing lab. So what you would actually have done is you would be testing for stuff in water. So this is typically done by the EPA or in San Diego it's the Municipal Water District. And you're just testing for things in water, but today we're testing for two things. We're testing for total dissolved, and obviously you're not doing the testing, solids, also called TDS. And total dissolved solids are things that dissolve. So this is going to be things like salts, which are of course ionic compounds. So you're looking for things like sodium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium sulfate, things of that nature. These are all solids that dissolve in water, right? And so that's part of the lab. And then the other part of the lab is total suspended solids, which is TSS. And this is stuff that is insoluble. So this could be stuff like dirt. It could be insoluble salts. Things like calcium carbonate. There can be animal waste, fish poop, and anything else that doesn't dissolve in water. Okay, for the T, okay, let me clear this. I'm just kind of go through procedurally what it's about, even though you're not going to do it. All right, so the first part is the TSS. Right, and to actually get what the actual value should be, you can Google total, and we're going to you can Google this. TSS values for San Diego lake water. That's what I did. TSS is suspended, and so we're using lake water. And so what I'm giving you is data that I made up, but it's typical data. All right. And so this is stuff that would be floating in lake water. And what we do is we take water and we filter. You filter a known volume, filter water, and then you weigh the stuff that the solids captured on the filter paper. Typically what we do though, because we don't want to just put a piece of filter paper in an oven, is we'll take a beaker, just like a 50 ml beaker, and we'll weigh it. And we'll take a piece of filter paper that's dry, and we weigh those, or we might weigh these together, which is what we did in the lab. Right? Then we filter, and we put the wet filter paper in the beaker, in an oven to dry. And then we take we get this total mass minus the beaker plus the filter paper before, equals the mass of the solids. Right. Typically what we do is we take the mass and we convert it to, we take grams, then we convert it to milligrams. There's 1,000 milligrams per gram. We take the volume of water, so we measure the volume of water, which is in milliliters. We convert it to liters. There's 1,000 milliliters per liter. And then we take the milligrams of the solids over the liters of water, and this will give us TSS in ppm. It's important in this part of the lab because the TSS value is going to be somewhat small. It's going to be a pretty low number. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't get any oils from your hands on the beaker or on the filter paper, because the mass is so small that the oils from your hands will actually contribute to the mass and can give you an error. All right, so that's the first part of the lab. That's with the filtering. If you're throwing away the water, you're just keeping the solids. Okay, and solids are bad in water, in drinking water. They can clog things up. They can clog up all sorts of stuff. Too much solids in water makes it hard for life that lives in water to move around and things like that. It can make the water very turbid, so things can't see. It just can cause a lot of problems. All right, now let's go through the other part, the TDS. For the TDS, this is dissolved. We're using tap water. And this is measured by the San Diego Water Quality Reports. On page 132 of your lab manual, there's a website that will give you the 2016 Water Quality Report. San Diego does a really good job with this. If you want to just change the 16 to an 18, you can get the 2018 Water Quality Report. The 2019 one is not out yet. They don't usually come out until about a year later. So what we do here is we're going to take water and we measure the volume. So it doesn't matter how much, it matters that you know how much. And then we filter it. This removes, having trouble today, suspended solids. But we're not interested in the suspended solid stuff. Okay, I know that's really bad writing. And so we throw this away. And then we put the water, the filtered water, goes into a weighed beaker. And that goes into an oven to dryness. It evaporates the water. And so then at the end, we take the final mass, and we weigh this. And again, I'm giving you made-up data, but it's typical. And the dried beaker is going to have the solids that were dissolved. Okay, and then we take this, we subtract out the beaker before, and that will give us the dissolved solids. All right, and then just like we did with the TSS, this will be in grams. We're going to convert it to milligrams. There's 1,000 milligrams per gram. We're going to take the volume of water, which is in milliliters. We're going to convert it to liters. There's 1,000 milliliters. Right? And then we take the milligrams of the solids divided by liters. Milligram per liter is the same as a part per million. And then you can look up in the water quality report how close we are to the correct value. Right? pretty much what we're doing. This is not unusual. This stuff is done. San Diego has a couple of reservoirs that this is done in. And like I said, the water quality report, San Diego does a really nice job. If you read the water quality report at the beginning, it tells you a lot of the front matter before all the data tables. Tells you their methods, all sorts of stuff that they do. It's actually really well done. Right. Relatively short. It's unfortunate we're not doing the lab as always, but I've given you the data. So with the data pages, you're going to have to do all the calculations and upload that when you do the answers to the questions part. So, but you've done stuff like that before. Hope you're all well. And yeah. Also, this the quiz on this lab is your last quiz. You actually have 11 quizzes that you've done, and I'm only counting 9. Okay. Have a good one.